Welcome to this exciting, informative, and ever-changing program. Being a new student is exciting, but can be a bit intimidating. There's a lot of program and equipment being thrown your way, but don't fear. With a little practice, you can master it in no time. Today, we're going to take you through the steps of how to create a graphic. The graphics computer, also known as the inscriber, is responsible for conveying information clearly and directly and establishing a show's overall mood and tone through the graphic style. Through illustrations, photographs, and video imagery, the graphics operator is responsible for ensuring the graphics help the audience understand the subject and the story. So let's get started. Find the graphics monitor and move the mouse around to bring the screen up. This computer is never to be shut down. Double-click on G-Scribe and open the program. When the program opens, you can see a large gray screen. This is where you are going to lay your graphics down. If you look closely, you can see a green line and a blue line. The green represents the action-safe area. You can add graphics within this 16:9 square. The blue lines represent the text-safe area. All text must stay within the 4:3 text-safe area to make sure letters do not get cut off. Next, on the right-hand side, you will see an empty box that is named Tree. This is where your layers will appear. Beside that is the media folder, where you can bring in a file. To bring in a file, you go to the plus sign here, and go to where the file is located. Click on it and press OK. Then you are able to drag it into the gray square. These are two main things you will need to be using to bring in files and to also find the layer you wish to use. On the bottom half of the screen, you have Attributes, Face, Depth, Shadow, and Edge. Attributes will be where you can change the fonts and sizing of text. Facing is where you can change the colors and transparency, and Shadow is where you can add a shadow to the font. These are your main three things you will use while making graphics. Finally, if you look on the left-hand side of your screen, you will see smaller squares that preview what you have on them the whole time. Think of it as a high-tech PowerPoint. Underneath each square is the numbers 1 or 2. This is where the signal is going to go, either CG1 or CG2, while during production. You can change it by just clicking it and choosing it as 1 or 2. Typically, you will want lower thirds on CG1 and full pages on CG2. Now I'm going to show you how to make two kinds of graphics, lower thirds and full pages. Lower thirds are commonly used for name keys, locations, and show titles. It is a part of the inscriber operator's job to create these graphics beforehand so they are ready to go for production day. First, you will start with picking the shapes you want to use or bring in an already made graphic by going into the media section on the right-hand side. For this tutorial, we will use the rectangle tool. We are going to click and drag it to make it a fair size rectangle, but not too big. For this, it is okay if it goes outside the guidelines if it needs to be, but always try to keep it within the green work-safe lines. Next, we're going to change the color. To do so, we're going to go down to the bottom section here and click the button that says Facing. Here, you can change the color, pattern, etc. We're going to use a nice shade of blue. You can choose whatever color you want, but typically, you want a color scheme that will go along with the show. For example, if you were doing a crime show, you won't want bright pinks and purples, more of grays, blacks, and whites. Now to change the transparency. We're going to change the transparency to between 50 to 70% so that it's not such a harsh tone. After the coloring and transparency, we are finally going to add the text. For the text, we will add the person's name. For example, we're going to use John Hamilton. Then either above or below the name, we're going to add in either the show name or his position, if he's a producer or store owner. For this, we're going to use the show's name, which is Inspired. Then change the font to whatever you choose, and change the sizing as well. Make the name a bit bigger than the show title so it stands out more. And there you have it, a lower third. For full page graphics, you're going to do the exact same thing as you did for the lower third, except this time take up the entire page. Now you can use the rectangle tool again or load in a pre-made background. For this, we will be using a pre-made graphic. You can make your own using the same technique as the lower third with the rectangle tool or by using Photoshop, but for now we're going to use this pre-made full page. First, you'll want to make sure that the color scheme works with the show, as mentioned earlier. If it is not, then go back to the bottom section and change the color and transparency if you wish. Then, click the horizontal text tool and add in the text for the show title and then add whatever the full page is displaying. For this, it's showing what's coming up next on the program, so we will add in sports, current affairs, and gaming for our topics, then add the times. After this, change the font, the text size, and you're all set to go for the production day. See, that wasn't so bad. In this tutorial, we went over the workspace, layout, and how to build graphics. Although working the inscriber may seem intimidating at first, always remember that practice makes perfect. Thanks for watching.